another session. With us, we have Michael Zanetti, Michael Terry, and Stumflute. And I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. Maybe let's start with Michael Terry.
Hi, I work on the Unity8 team, doing a lot of this and that. I work on the greeter and the out-of-box experience and other stuff. I work with Michael Zanetti. That's me.
Thanks. With us, we have Michael Zanetti, Michael Terry, and Stumflute. And I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. Maybe let's start with Michael Terry.
Hi, I work on the Unity8 team, doing a lot of this and that. I work on the greeter and
I think the sound is
Michael Zanetti, you have the Hangout, the YouTube tab open.
Okay, that was me. Sorry, fixed it. Yeah, welcome from my side too. I'm Michael Zanetti. I'm working on the Unity8 team too, together with Michael Terry. And yeah, what you see on this screen, that's my demo setup where I'll be showing a bit of convergence stuff. Yeah, first I also give Simon the chance to introduce himself.
Yeah, hey, I'm Simon. That's my actual name. I do a lot of phone development and lately a lot of community stuff. And I was among the first who posted those nice convergence mode or windowed mode pictures on Google Plus and stuff.
Okay.
Thanks, Simon.
Hi. So, I thought I'd start the session with telling you a little bit about what we've done in the last time. Many of you maybe know that already, but just a small wrap-up for the new ones that joined. After that, I'm going to be telling a little bit about what we're doing right now and demoing all the stuff we have ready right now. And at the end, I will also do a short summary on what the future is to bring for us. That's really a rough plan, and I cannot really give any time details on that, but just that you get an idea where we're going from here. Okay, starting with the existing. So, as many of you know, we in Ubuntu 2 years ago, or maybe 3 even, we started to build phones and tablets. But instead of just building phones and tablets, the general idea was always a much bigger picture, which is to build a device which does not care about what form factor it is on, about what screen size, what input methods. So basically, we want to build a system that can handle everything. And while in the last year we've seen a lot of phone goodness around, and we launched phones you can buy, right now we're already starting to see the first fruits of the whole convergence work, as we call it. And yeah, that's visible in a few different areas. First of all, that we have a single same code base which runs on the phone here. Yeah, which many of you know is just Ubuntu phone as we know it. The exact same code base also runs on this form factor devices, which is Nexus 7 tablet. But we've also seen it already on bigger screens like 10-inch, Nexus 10, and also if you run it on your laptop or desktop, it'll also adjust to that, and it'll be even operatable via mouse and keyboard instead of just touch, unlike the phones. Yeah, so much for the history already. So the new things we have landed into the image right now is basically the windowed mode, the automatic switching between staged mode, as we call it, and windowed mode, which basically transforms your screen of the phone into what you know from the desktop, which is an environment with windows that you can drag around with your mouse and lay them out on your screen as you want, as opposed to the full screen display that we always have on a phone or on a tablet. Right, so the target for that feature set will be a so-called Pocket Device Cluster, which we're planning to ship soonish. But yeah, lots of work ahead there still. but we're on track. Apart, well, let me start again. So with this whole approach of doing that hard cut on Ubuntu and starting again, we've also come up with lots of new APIs and a new toolkit and new applications and everything. So that obviously, when you try to bring it together with a desktop environment, brings up the question, so what happens with all the applications people are used to, like LibreOffice or, I don't know, whatever, you name it, whatever application you can come up with on the desktop. Basically, it's not, it's not meant to work on such a touch interface, and also doesn't use the toolkits and everything. To get along with that, we introduced a so-called legacy mode, which will build on XMIR, which basically simulates an X environment on top of MIR and allows all the old applications to run. So that will bring you LibreOffice and whatnot to your devices, let's say. So yeah, that's one big thing we're working on right now, getting all those legacy apps run on the desk on the devices again with the new Unity 8 setup. One thing we are also working on right now is to adjust different screen resolution. So as you'll see in a minute, you can now plug your Ubuntu phone to an external screen, and it will show. It will expand on the second screen and give you a desktop environment there. Actually, that's probably a good point to get started with the demo. So I'll move over to the other setup and try to get that running. Wish me some luck. So here I am again. That's just my standard regular TV, which I have here in my living room. I've got a Nexus 4 with Ubuntu running on it, and MHL adapter, which is just micro USB to HDMI, and this is standard power plug just for more power, but there's no data going through. So everything you'll see now is powered straight up from your phone. So let's plug it and hope it does not crash. So as I said before, this is really work in progress, and you might see some crashes now, but it's working. Flickering a bit. Yeah, there we go. So see that I touched everything properly. Now I'm also configured the Bluetooth mouse first to connect to this phone, which does not connect right now. It is a bit up because the tap screen is disabled right now. I need to unplug it and see and configure the Bluetooth mouse myself.
That happens a lot to me too.
It can only be a matter of hours. So yeah, while we're waiting, feel free to ask questions in IRC and post them, so we can discuss things that you're interested in.
Michael,
excuse me.
Yeah, Mike?
Michael, can you focus your demo hangout rather than your? I think most people are seeing the demo hangout as a tiny box rather than the main screen.
No, it's fixed.
Is that better now? Okay. So it should have connected the mouse now. Restarting. Mouse is here. Let's talk to keyboard too. Yes, it works. So again, this is a standard Bluetooth keyboard. There's nothing special to it. Just connected to the mouse via Bluetooth to the phone. So yeah, that's now basically already it. So you can see we can launch a browser here. We can drag the window around. Launch some more applications. We use our tab to switch between them. There's also the launcher, as you know it from Unity. So yeah. Right. So now that you've seen the demo, some more notes. So right now we're working on the fact that you cannot really configure the screen resolution, that there are too many missing features right now. So that's really the things we're working right now on. We are ironing out all the issues, adding support for all the things you expect from a desktop environment. Yeah. So all of this, all of the things that you see right now is it's actually landed in the Ubuntu images, in the standard phone images. So if you have an Nexus 4 and you flash Ubuntu to it, this is really what you can try at home right now. This is not something hidden in our closet still. This is really out there and ready for people to test. One thing you should know that it's only in the RC proposed channel right now, which is the image channel which we're using to land experimental features. So this has not yet hit the stable channel, but really only in the unstable channel, so to say. Good news is though that in a couple of weeks, I'm not entirely sure on the deadline right now, but it must be 2 or 3 weeks, we're releasing the next over-the-air update to our stable images, and that's really when this stuff is going to hit the stable phone image. So if you're using Ubuntu on your Nexus phone, Nexus 4 or Nexus 7, and you want to keep a stable experience but still try this stuff, then you wait another couple of weeks and then you'll get all those features over the air to your Ubuntu phone. Yeah, so the plan is obviously to get all this to stability and the feature completeness, so we can eventually drop the old Unity 7 and use all of this on the standard Ubuntu desktop too. For that, again, there is much more features and fixes needed, so that it can be comparable to what everyone is used to from their Ubuntu machines. One of the parts, for instance, which is why we have Michael Terry here, is that we also need to converge the bits and pieces around Unity, which mostly is the lock screen and that kind of stuff, to use the new things instead of the old Unity 7 reader. So, Mike, if you want to give an update on that, on the status, on the roadmap.
Sure. It's not super exciting, but one thing that we had considered was the lock screen, the greeter that you see when you boot up Ubuntu and choose which user, choose which session you want to log into. We have to do that for the phone eventually to support multiple users, and that's an isolatable chunk of functionality that we could put on the normal desktop images too. We could replace our current greeter with this new snazzy Unity8 greeter without too much disruption. And so that's something we're looking at as a target of opportunity for 1604. If we get it all done real soon, then we can do it. Otherwise, we'll just hold off until 1610. But that's something we'd like to do. It's easier than replacing, for example, Unity with Unity8, which is a whole process. But just the greeter would be easy. So we'll see. But that's the hope.
So,
yeah.
There are a few questions for you, Michael. Zanetti.
Shoot.
Well, probably both. Unity 9 is asking any plans on working towards an initial definition of Unity 8 API, something that other devs can build upon and not break with the next update.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Any plans on working towards an initial definition of Unity 8 API, something that other devs can build upon and not break with the next update?
So I'm not really sure what you mean with the a definition of Unity 8 API. So Unity does not have too many APIs for third-party developers. It's really mostly a shell which runs other apps, but there are not too many APIs to integrate. There definitely are some to come again, which are already there in Unity 7, which mostly is integrating with the launcher to paint a small count emblem over there, or well, the progress bar on the launcher item, those things mainly. But that's really not too much. And our current target is really to build again what's there in Unity 7, unless it totally conflicts with our new lifecycle story, which is optimized to run also on battery devices and everything. Oh, I just saw Michael Hall to correct me that the question is actually about plugins and everything. No, right now we don't really have any plans to add plugins to Unity. This is really not something, like, not because we don't want to, but really because we have so much to do right now that we first have to focus on making the thing usable for the regular user. And once we have that, we can again think about extending it so that power users can tweak all the bells and whistles and everything. But yeah, right now we don't have an imminent plan on extending some plugin API to Unity.
Unity 9 is asking, why are the icons so big on your
that's one of the things I said before. Right now we have we are lacking a feature basically, which is to allow having different resolutions on different screens. The current code base is really flexible when it comes to setting up the resolution itself. Means regardless of the pixel density of the screen, you can perfectly make it look good on that screen. Problem is we're not quite finished when it comes to having two different screens with different pixel densities. And that's exactly what you see on that TV. The TV has a lower pixel density than the phone. Yes, that's true. Which basically makes the icons look huge. I could change it so it looks good on the TV, but then everything would be quite tiny on the phone. But this is exactly one of the things we're working on right now. That's one of the highest priority issues to fix right now. Should change anytime, hopefully.
One question from Just Caracas. Are there plans to make the phone tablet usable as a trackpad while extending the screen?
We don't have specified the exact plan on that, but everyone in the team agrees that something needs to happen with the screen. It can't just be sitting there and be dead. Something will happen. We're not entirely sure if it will just, the idea of using it as a touchpad is a great one, actually. But there are also other ideas we had floating around in our minds. Some say the phone screen should always be there for the phone functionality. So basically, you'd still have a dialer there. But that's really just examples. I don't know yet what's happening, and this is not our highest priority feature right now. So don't expect this to change within the next couple of months. But again, everyone agrees this needs to change, and we will do something great with that screen in the end.
And one question from Cheeseburg. How do you plan to handle multiple screens? Is set up as 3?
So with the current hardware, the Nexus 4, I think you're out of luck with 3 screens there. However, newer standards, which are I don't know exactly what it is, but I think DisplayPort, for example, it allows daisy chaining of screens, so you could attach them just in a row, even if the phone has only one output jack. So I don't see any limitations software-wise. So all the code we write, it does not assume a maximum of 2 screens. The code itself can deal with more screens, or at least will bring it there. Right now, I'd say running all of this off from a phone, it's really a hardware limitation still. But I expect that to change soon, too.
Michael Hall is asking if the side stage is going to be available in desktop mode.
I don't think so. At least right now, we don't have any plans on that.
For people not... Sorry.
We should call it windowed mode instead of desktop mode, because right, it's a phone, it's not a desktop, but it runs in windowed mode.
For people not knowing what the side stage is, it was demoed with the first version of Ubuntu Touch. It was like phone-sized apps on the side of your screen.
I have an example here. I have a Nexus 7, which, if I manage to enter the path correctly, should be able to demonstrate the side stage. Yeah, here it is. Let me see if it works. Holding up, yeah. So, yeah, you see there is the dash. It's hard to operate. This is the response running on the main stage. And yeah, you can pull in the side stage for phone factor apps to run on top of the main app, which is very useful to, if you're browsing the web, you can bring in your note editor from the side, just copy paste a note over there, dismiss it again, or small tools like calculators and that kind of stuff.
A question from Unity8. Do you have any news regarding tablet mode?
No, I don't think there is any news. So we have one person working on it right now, polishing the experience a bit and just making sure it keeps up with all the rest of the code page. While it didn't get too much love in the last half year, but it's definitely not something we've forgotten about. Yeah, I can't share any news or because I just don't know, but it's not something we have forgotten about. No.
A question from Seb24. What is the plan for scopes and dash for the desktop?
Very good question. I keep on asking that myself, but I haven't received the definite answer yet. It looks, for a first iteration, it will be a window, just a single application in a window. But I personally cannot believe that's going to be the final thing. But sadly, I don't have the answer for that myself either. Sorry.
I do know that the design team is working very hard on a good solution for this. A question from Michael Hall. Is the HUD coming back to Unity8 for the desktop?
Again, there I haven't heard any news in a long time, actually. So ever since we removed it from the phone images, I haven't heard much about it anymore. The code is still there, though. We haven't thrown it away, and it could be re-enabled once design figures a solution on how to integrate it in the UI and actually do something useful with it, right? It's not just about having it for the sake of having it, it needs to be useful too. And we haven't worked out those pieces yet.
A question from Amar Thing. What sort of compose-like functionality can we expect in Unity8? Things like window spread, workspace naming, hot corners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the first versions, we're gonna go with a predefined set of those so-called effects. They are probably like we will have one for everything that is designed by our designers, but we won't have as I said earlier, we won't have a plugin system like Compass had where you could replace certain animations. That might still come in a later step, I don't know yet. For the beginning, we will have, obviously we'll have eye candy, we'll have quite a bit of that, and animations and whatnot, but not, configurable by the user so far. We do already have a window spread, which I've shown before, but I can put it on my TV once more so that people can look at it. Yeah, I'll do that while you guys handle the next question.
We are out of questions right now. How will the Unity 8 desktop work like? On Unity 7, we can put pictures, folders, etc. Michael Terry, maybe you know.
Sorry, I missed the question.
Sorry, I had to find my my unmute button. So the question is, how will the Unity 8 desktop work? I'm not sure I understand.
We will be able to put pictures and folders on the desktop itself.
Oh, not currently, no. No, currently there really isn't any desktop. The scopes kind of takes that place, but it acts just like an app, any other app. The desktop is just a list of apps that you have. Right, Mike?
That's also my current status on it. Yes.
So not very customizable.
No.
We have a question from Pittsburgh.
Sorry, one comment on the others. So yes, you can replace the background image right now on the desktop. So if I minimize everything, which I'm broken on this build right now, dash cannot be minimized currently. No. No, it always starts in Flickr. But anyway, this is just a bug in this particular image. But usually the scopes is a window too, and behind that there is a wallpaper which the user can actually configure through the system, through the settings app.
Cheeseburg is asking if there is a testing ISO for Unity 8 testing on desktop, or at least instructions to test it.
There has been an ISO, but I haven't ever used it myself, to be honest. And I don't know the current status of it. So what I do on testing... Oh, sorry.
I think we stopped producing them for a little while things were in flux, and I believe that we'll, if we haven't started that back up, we will this cycle for Xenial.
Okay. So until that's done, what I currently do all the time is just install a regular Ubuntu desktop and then just do apt-get install Unity 8 desktop session mir, and then this stuff will appear as a second option in your login screen. You select it, log in, and then you'll end up in Unity 8, which works quite fine for me. Your mileage may vary a bit when it comes to different GPU drivers. I, for one, have always only used it with Intel drivers, and that works quite nice for me.
Unity 9 is asking, can I write a parallax wallpaper in QML and replace the current static wallpaper?
For that, right now, you need to patch the code. So, yeah. So there is no way that you could just do that via configuration options, but patching the code, sure, that wouldn't be too hard. Right now, it's really just a crossfade image. It's an image which can fade when you change the source, but apart from that, there is nothing special on that wallpaper. So if you want to have that for yourself, then it should be easy to patch it in. If you would want to contribute it upstream, then yeah, you should come to our IRC channel, talk to us, and we'll find a designer you could chat with.
Michael Hall is asking who in the design team should we ping with all these design related questions.
Um, I don't know, to be honest. So I know who I always go to ping when I have a question in design, but I'm not sure if I can tell the whole world to ping that one person and keep it busy all day long. That's one question I'd need to follow up with. I'm sure we have designers around. I guess the best idea is to come to the Unity channel and just ask the question general, and we'll see which designer is online and forward you to that one.
We also have an Ubuntu design channel. I don't know how active that is.
Interesting, I didn't know about that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's my fear.
Oh, there are people though.
Yeah, and it's an official channel. It's logged and everything. So but I don't know who pays attention to it.
Well, Patty is here, and she's usually quite open to discussion. So
yes, MPT is using it. A question from Michael Hall again. When will Unity8 gain all the wonderful keyboard shortcuts that Unity 7 has?
Unity 7 has a ton of them, so I cannot say when we will have each and every one in place again. However, right now there is a branch approved already, just waiting to land, which will add back the keyboard shortcuts to maximize, minimize, minimize to the right, maximize to the right side, to the left side. So there is a branch to come, which is ready to land, basically, which will introduce quite a lot of them again. For those who are not handled, I would suggest that you actually open bug reports, because there is a good chance that we're actually not even aware of them. Or, for us, the priority might be a different one than for you. So please file bugs about missing keyboard shortcuts.
A question from Unity desktop widget land, like scroll bars, menus, and such.
The desktop widgets. So
I think it's mouse-oriented widgets.
Right. So all the widgets we are designing with the Ubuntu UI toolkit are supposed to work with a mouse too. And if you're starting a new application, you should probably also use those new components, even if your main target would be a laptop or would be a device that's operated via mouse and keyboard mostly. However, let me tell you that in the near future, each and every screen will be a touch screen. I'm quite convinced about that. So you should not start new applications with those old school mouse-only buttons and everything. If you still want to do so and have a good reason for it, then you can use them. You can actually use them right now. So Q widget should actually work. The missing thing right now, there is multiple surfaces. So it's those old school apps very often use multiple windows, even if they are from the same app. We do not have full support for that yet. Again, there's branches which are about to land and some more which are in progress, which add that support. So it should get better. But yeah, at least for Q widget, you should be able to use it right away. You could use GTK and that kind of stuff through Xmir too, which I wanted to demo, but I wasn't able to set it up without too many crashes, so it didn't make any sense. Expect to see some GTK applications and everything at latest on the next Ubuntu Online Summit, but most likely earlier.
And if you want to try an app which has been really designed with convergence in mind, you should try the web browser app. You can right-click, and there are a lot of little things that are only available when it's in the desktop mode.
Windows mode. Yeah, that's a very good one. Good example. So right now the window is a bit too small, so it falls back to, as you know it from the phone. Can everyone see the demo screen? Yeah. So if I drag the window now larger, yes, you will see that there is a tab bar on the top here, and I can use it as you know it from before, with multiple tabs and everything. Right. Yeah, it also supports right-clicking. So, yeah, as I said, all the components we're doing right now, while they look very touch-oriented on a phone, they are actually all designed with mouse input and keyboard input in mind too.
Michael is asking any new features coming in Unity 8 that didn't exist in Unity 7, which you are particularly excited about?
Apart from an overall and major improved look and feel, I think we are really, at the moment, we're really catching up with Unity 7 feature, with the Unity 7 feature set. And there is obviously the one or the other new feature and gimmick and some changed workflows. Sorry. Like you will see the multi-monitor handling, which we're working on right now, is going to be a bit different than you're used to it, but in my opinion, it's a cool new way. So yes, I'd say there's also new features. It's not, you know, that Unity 8 brings the big new feature which we didn't have in Unity 7, but it changes a lot of small bits and pieces all around to a new way of working and a new way of thinking. And so, yeah, my answer would definitely be yes, there is a lot of new features. Yeah.
One thing I'm looking forward to is bringing the phone ecosystem. Like being able to run a phone app on my desktop is huge. There's a ton of interesting games and actually very useful apps in the store that just aren't available on the desktop, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and also the other way around, right? Running all the desktop stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
Fair.
A question: can we get the calendar widget in the date time indicator when in phone mode? It's quite handy. Maybe.
So I've heard that there is a new task coming up for us, which is to merge the windowed and staged mode indicator profiles so that it would not switch between two different ones anymore. That will probably mean that most of the ones you know from the desktop mode or windowed mode will come to the phone too. It might also mean that one or the other will disappear completely from the indicator. Coming in particular when it comes to the calendar, I personally would expect that it would stick around and also come to the phone, as I would find it very useful too. I cannot give you a guarantee on that one though, because I'm not a designer and I'm not the one who decides. Yeah.
A question from Sep24. What is the plan to manage multi-workspaces?
Okay, I cannot show you complete multi-workspaces yet. I can show you just one, which is up here. If there will be more of those next to each other, and one with a plus and a cross to close them again. So, yeah, basically you have in this spread view. In this spread view, you have all your workspaces up here, and you can drag windows from here to the other workspace. And that's the plan.
Sorry, can you show again the demo window wasn't full screen?
Oh, okay. Is it now? Oh. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, again, this is basically a workspace. Right now we only support one, so that's why there's only one of them. But we're working on it, and as soon as we support more, there will be a plus here next to it, and you could add more of them and drag windows from your alt-tab switcher basically to other workspaces.
Nice.
So yeah, hovering the things, you see a preview. There's live previews of the workspaces actually on top there.
Question. Any chance we'll get to set the resolution or UI scaling when connecting to an external display?
Definitely yes. We're like one of my teammates is working on it this very moment, unless he's in a meeting, I guess. But yeah, it's priority number one right now. It should land very soon, I hope.
And we are out of questions for now. So what's your setup exactly?
This here. What?
Yeah.
It's a Nexus 4 with just some very cheap HDMI slim port adapter, which I got from Amazon. The cheapest one I could find works fine for me. Then there is a phone, so basically a Logitech keyboard, and my good old Panasonic TV. Nothing of that I have. Oh, and the mouse I'm just using my laptop's mouse, which is an Apple, the old one with the ball still. So nothing of this I bought particularly for the setup. It was all stuff I had around before I even knew that I would work on it. Yeah, just works together. Oh, except the keyboard. The keyboard is really bought intentionally to test the convergence stuff, which is why it has that stand for the mobile devices in there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I could.
Michael Hall, how will multiple windows for an app work in that switcher? Is it window-based or app-based?
Both a bit. Well, actually, it depends on what you mean.
I would guess GIMP in multi-windows mode. Will there be one preview per window or one preview per app?
Sorry, I confused the questions a bit because I read myself. So, which question are you referring to? Michael Hall's, right? Multiple windows open up in that switcher. Right, they're going to be merged together to one surface. They're composited together one on top of each other. Yeah, that's the current plan. Unless an application has two root windows, which you might know from Firefox. That's one application binary running, but it has multiple, equal windows. In that case, if it's root windows, we're going to have two entries in the spread. But if it's going to be small modal dialogues only, which are child surfaces of another surface, we're going to composite them together in the spread.
Cheeseburg is asking, is the choppy performance of Unity 8 because of the hardware of the phone or because it is still work in progress?
Yeah, so that's a bit of both. It really depends on what exactly you're referring to. For the most part, I think Unity 8 runs quite smooth already. There are occasional hiccups where everything freezes, which are mostly related to system services in the background running crazy and taking too much CPU. That's definitely a thing which is because of the phone's hardware is so underpowered to run all this stuff. But not only that, also because it's work in progress, and we should make sure that none of the system services actually has the ability or does those crazy things. So yeah, a bit of both. It's hard to deal with low power resources on a phone. But I'm confident we can get more out of it still. Yeah.
Unity 9 is asking, when will Unity 8 be able to run with NVIDIA AMD proprietary drivers?
Oh, that's really a question for the Mir team, and I'm not able to answer that. Sorry. I know they have been working with other vendors of GPUs, and I know they're always focusing on that, but I have no idea on the status. And obviously, because I never asked, it works on my Intel chip, and I'm happy with it. So you really need to ask the Mir guys on that.
Kugi is asking a question you covered a bit earlier. Any news when we'll get multiple app instance support in Unity 8? You were referring to Firefox with several root windows, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a discussion about that last week, and until then, we were actually thinking we would not allow it on the phone. But the more we think about it, the more it seems that a use case like having 2 browser windows instead of 100 tabs in one browser window actually does make sense on a phone too. So I don't know the decision yet, but I, for one, will always vote for supporting that eventually.
Well, Bregma is answering that vendor support for me is coming soon.
Okay.
And that's it. We are out of questions, and we are pretty close to the end of the session. Any comment you would like to make? Like, what do you want to work on next? And I'm asking this to both Michaels.
All right. Let me add my notes. Yeah, well, the things that we're working on next, I already mentioned them actually. So really, it's improve the mouse support. So let me tell you the things we're currently working on, or we started, or we know we will start them within a month or two. Let's really improve the mouse. Right now, there is no mouse. The mouse is way too slow. You can configure the speed. There is no acceleration. We need to reintroduce that push towards the edges to reveal the launcher and that kind of stuff. So that's really the things we started and we're working on. Window management, supporting multiple surfaces per application, multiple root surfaces. We will also extend the launcher to be on par with features with Unity 7, which is bringing the quick lists back, so the dynamic quick lists in Firefox, which allows you to open a new tab directly by right-clicking the launcher. That's things we start working on soon. And then obviously the longer term thing and bigger and harder features are bringing back drag and drop all over the desktop. That's something we have not started yet, but we start thinking about how to do it now. Yeah, those are the things I had on my list. Everything else is a bit farther in the future still, I'd say. Also keep in mind that I might forget things because I didn't completely write our to-do list to my notes for this session. So, but yeah, that's really the rough direction what we're working on next.
Well, thanks, guys. Looks like our time is out.
Okay, that was fast. Okay, thanks everybody for listening, joining in. I hope you enjoyed the session. I guess see you in IRC or on next Ubuntu Online Summit. And I don't run another session during those days. So.
Bye.
Thanks. I guess then you can turn it down, right?